So as promised in our announcement video of our engagement, in this video we're going to be talking about all things ring.
Yes, this is my ring, my little rock right here. Focus on it. There you go. There we go. That's my ring. There we go.
Listen, she has been like flashing it everywhere, and I'm
not like that girl.
She has been that girl for the past like 2 days. Hey Wealth Builders, my name is Mishak.
My name is Akeiva.
And on this channel we talk about all things personal finance for young adults just like ourselves and you. Did I say that right? I don't know. But we're just gonna roll with it, guys. The first thing that we're gonna talk about in this video is the budget that we set for the ring. And this was set, honestly, like a while ago.
A long time ago.
We had been talking about getting married, and again, because we're so financially conscious about all the things that were important to us, and not being too extravagant and not being too quote-unquote cheap at the same time. So we had an agreed upon budget.
We had to discuss, do we want a wedding? What do we think? What do we value about rings? About, you know, all of those things, like what is important to us. So once we had those conversations and narrowed down what was important to us, we were able to put, you know, some dollars to those values.
So I'm just gonna come out and say it. The budget that we agreed upon for a ring was $10,000. And I know you guys are probably like, $10,000, you guys are crazy. That is a terrible use of money, yada, 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 all of that flack. But let me tell you why we agreed on that number.
Yeah.
Number one, it's a nice flat round number. That's one. Number two.
We should probably specify what we each were thinking when we got to that number.
I'm getting into that.
It's a nice round flat number. That was what you thought.
It's a nice round flat number. That's number one. Number two is after we did some research, because if you have been watching our channel for a while, you pretty much can tell our personalities. Like Akeiva is like the research queen. If it's something that I care about, ergo I'm spending my money, I'm going to research it and I'm going to look into it. So Akeiva went through a lot of phases. Like she wanted the crown of light diamond, she wanted this diamond, she wanted a lot of stuff. And like we mentioned, because I wanted to make sure that I got her something that she would like, I asked those questions, we had those discussions, and we did some research to look into how much it was going to cost. I was more in my research focusing on cut, clarity, like all of those things to get bang for my buck. So although we were researching, we were kind of looking in different directions. And after we compared on multiple websites, we looked at James Allen, I'm a Zales guy. So it was really difficult for me to even get out of that mindset of Zales and look anywhere else, because I didn't care about K's, I didn't care about anybody else, it was Zales. But after, again, doing research and finding out that a lot of these retail brands, they're really marking up their prices for their name, it was okay, well, let's look into different things. And that's when I found the rarecarat.com. I found James Allen, I found Ratani. Like there are a lot of online wholesalers that have where you can kind of create your own ring.
Yeah, and for me, like I said, I was still trying to figure out like what I liked. I really didn't know like what I liked and what I wanted. I was researching different types of materials because I'm like, you know, like after I realized how expensive diamonds were, I'm just like, you know, like, do I really want a diamond? Is there something else that I want instead? Like I became, toward the end of like this process, I really became obsessed with moissanite, and I still am obsessed with moissanite. I think it's so gorgeous, and it's like a fraction of the price of diamonds. Personally, I love it. And that's another alternative if you guys, you know, if somebody's in a similar situation and you're looking for kind of a diamond alternative or something else that, you know, might look as good, that you might like just as much, look into moissanite, because I think it's underrated and it's gorgeous.
It is.
And it's durable. But anyway, I digress. I'm just a very sentimental person. Like I know a lot of people are like, once they get more money, once they get more established, or maybe after 5-year anniversary or 10-year anniversary, they get new rings. For me, whatever ring I was proposed to with is the ring that I want to keep for the rest of my life. I'm never going to upgrade my ring. I'm never going to change my ring. And that is just me personally.
And after research, that was the next thing that we agreed upon, because Mishak is not going to be 7 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, buying no upgrade ring.
Yeah.
The ring that you get is the ring that you're going to keep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because to me, that's what the ring is about. It's more of a sentimental value than anything. So I knew that whatever ring I got now, I better like it, because it's going to be on my finger for the rest of my life.
that is another reason why we came to
I felt a lot more comfortable. I thought it was a lot in the beginning as well, but as I thought about it more, I became more comfortable with it.
Again, after looking and doing research, like you cannot get, well, you can, let me take that back. You can get a very large stone that is going to be really crappy. It's not going to shine. It's not going to this. It's not going to that. And you might be able to get it from an online wholesaler, because you can't go into Zales and get it for under, I would say, $5,000. You're going to spend $5,000 or more for even something that's crappy. So if you want something good, you are going to have to shell out some cash. And like we mentioned, this being something that we had been speaking about for a little while, like, to me, why would I not be responsible and start saving towards that goal? Yeah. Especially after hearing what she'd wanted, what she'd like, and having my rules that I wasn't going to upgrade, then you got to, quote unquote, put your money where your mouth is and be prepared to make that purchase. For most people, it is the largest purchase that they're going to make in their lifetime on an item like a house and that sort of stuff. Like, that's exceptional and excluded. But your phone, although they are getting very expensive these days, it's not 10 grand for a phone, it's not $5,000 for a phone. So it's something that you want to give a lot of time and consideration towards. So that is how we arrived at the $10,000 figure. But I will also add that figure was not just engagement ring, that was the budget for the entire set. So for a wedding band and for engagement ring. No more. We could have spent less, but no more than $10,000.
And I will also add that, yes, it is a lot of money, but as you guys can see, I mean, we do net worth updates now every quarter. So you guys can see that somewhere along the line, he purchased this ring and I didn't even notice it. By just looking at our net worth updates, you would not have known if $10,000 left his account, I never would have known, because the net worth was still on an upward trend. And that's the point that I'm making, is that even though it was a lot of money, and it is a lot of money for us, of course there's a lot of other things we can do with that money. Like I said, this is literally a once in a lifetime purchase. And it's not putting us in a bad financial spot or in a worse financial spot than we already were. So that's also what made me feel a lot more comfortable with the budget. I still don't know how much he spent on it, and I don't want to know, or don't need to know. But that was the budget. So
and I can say that I did stick to the budget. I can say that. So now we're gonna segue into the tips and tricks that I kind of found along my journey of searching for this ring, and some things that I think might help you. Like I mentioned earlier, there are some websites that I stumbled upon. Blue Nile, I looked into them, and they kind of were the gateway to all of the other online wholesalers for diamonds. The one that I had settled upon and really, really liked was James Allen.
He was obsessed.
Yeah, I looked into so many videos for James Allen, unboxings. It was a lot of research and time and careful detail into looking which store I was going to purchase the ring from. Then, of course, like I said, I went to my traditional stores that you see at the mall, Zales, K's, and all of those. And then going with Akeiva to the store months, over a year ago, we went into a few jewelry stores just to see what she liked. Because again, looking at something at a computer screen is very different from seeing it in person. And when you go into jewelry stores, know the different cuts, shapes, and clarities that you're looking for. Because, pro tip, they will take advantage of you if you go in there and you do not know what you're looking for, or what, anything about the stones. People in the stores, and I'm telling you because I've been to multiple in different states, in different I've gone to many jewelry stores, and pretty much what I have found at every single one of them is when you go in there and they have the inclination that you don't know what you're looking for or what you're talking about, they will show you the most expensive rings in that store to try and get you to buy them. And how they'll push it to you is, oh, well, you can get a credit card, oh, you can do this, and all that's gonna do is just put you further in debt. That's something else that we had decided, is that we were not going to be going in debt for anything wedding related. So that's why we were saving and saving and saving towards that. So that's tip number one, is make sure that you educate yourself before you go. Tip number two is do your homework. So it kind of goes hand in hand with tip number one, and look into different alternatives. Don't be like me and stuck into one specific way or type of ring or whatever that you're looking for, whether it be Zales or whatever. Open up to different things, because you can get more bang for your buck by doing it that way. And that's how we stumbled upon James Allen, like I mentioned before. So what I did is I did some research and I found out that there was a James Allen store that they had recently opened in DC. And because I live in Maryland, it wasn't too far. Corey and I headed out there, and you're gonna see some footage and all that later on in this video of the store. It's a really nice store. And I was able to see the rings that I was looking at online. The rings were gorgeous in person, beautiful. Akeiva wanted something thin and all that, so I knew which rings I was going in there for. So it wasn't ogling, you know, looking at all these different rings. It was, these are the 3 that I want to see, show me those 3. I had spoken to reps online, like it was a great experience. But when I got to the store and I actually saw the rings in person, which we'll be showing you one on the screen right now, the one that I was looking at, I decided not to go with it because, and I'm not going to tell you the size of the stone on the ring that she has, just because I don't really think that it's important. But also I asked the question of, well, what is the largest stone you can set into this setting? And when they shared that with me for this ring, it didn't match up with the stone that I wanted. The stone that I wanted was slightly bigger, so it wouldn't have fit into that setting. So I wouldn't have been able to go with that ring even if I wanted to. The only way that I would have been able to get that setting is if I got a smaller stone, which I really didn't want to do. When Akeiva was in Maryland a few months prior, she had dragged me to another store called Hellsberg Diamonds. Never heard of them before.
I went there because I knew they had moissanite, and I was, like I said, I'm still obsessed with moissanite. So I wanted to show him what the moissanites look like, and I wanted to see them in person because I knew they had them in store for you to try on.
That's when I was introduced to that wholesaler, as opposed retailer, sorry. As opposed to some of the online ones that I had been looking into. Blue Nile kind of was out of it for me, not because they didn't have nice settings or nice stones, but James Allen, like this is not sponsored, but James Allen, like I'm being so honest, the way that they have their interface for their website set up, like it's so simple, clean, and just really easy to use. All the others that I found, although they had cheaper settings or cheaper stones, or more reasonably priced, let me use that word, I just didn't like the feel. Like on James Allen, you could do a 360 rotation of the stones, 360 rotation of the diamonds, where you could zoom in, like you could really see all the little details that, because it's an online thing, so you want to make sure that you're seeing what you're buying. You'd hate to make a large purchase, you get it in the mail, and then it's not what you were thinking or what you were hoping for, and then you have to send it back. So that leads up to the next choice that I decided to make, which was, like I mentioned earlier, not to go with James Allen or any online wholesaler at all. Hellsberg? Mm-hmm. Hellsberg.
And this is where he ended up buying it from, yet he still can't pronounce it.
Hellsberg, after speaking with Zales and Kays and all of them, I found that Hellsberg had the most reasonable rates for, in quote-unquote, insurance plans for rings. So with this ring that Akeiva has, it comes with lifetime resizing. So if for whatever reason and it's free because I paid for it. So if her finger gets smaller, we take it into a Hellsberg retailer. She takes the receipt.
I love how you said it gets smaller versus I gained some weight. Thanks.
Smaller or bigger, it doesn't matter. She can take it in there and they will resize it at no additional cost to her. If any of the stones fall out or anything like that, she can take it back to them and they will replace it with equivalent stones or something better. But then that takes me to the center stone. The center stone I did not get from Hellsberg. I actually got from a different online wholesaler. So I mentioned that I didn't want to get the setting from the online wholesale company, but I did get the center stone from the online wholesale company. And the reason for that is because of other things that I found, such as Rare Carat, where you can go on there and you can put in the cut, the clarity, the this, the that, whatever, all of the stuff that you want, and it'll show you in your area based on your zip code, or if you want to do a different zip code, you can also do that. And you put in a price range of what you're looking for, and it will show you at different places that are in the rare carat network of where they're selling that stone. And you just go into the store and you can make your purchase. And that's what I did. I purchased it, well, I did it actually online, but I purchased it online. It came in the mail. It came FedEx Express or whatever. I had to sign for it because it was a large ticketed item. And I took it over to Heilsberg and they inspected it. They did their whole thing. They made me know that, hey, that if the stone is damaged in setting, that they're not responsible for that. So all of those things I knew and was aware of. But in the process of that, I was able to honestly spend a whole lot less than if I had went to however you say it. Heilsberg, and gotten the whole package from them. The center stone is what you're going to spend the most money on. So if you want to look elsewhere for the center stone and then take it into a retailer, I definitely recommend doing that. That's what I did, and I saved so much money that way. I took the center stone to them. Of course that was already paid for, so there was no haggling on the price there, but I was able to get them down on the price for the bridal set. So for the engagement ring setting and for the wedding band. And they started off at one number, and literally all I did was say, no, you can do better than that. You can do better than that. I can show you they were really great customer service. I was texting them back and forth. I don't know if they were using their personal cell phone number or what, but they were sending pictures. It was an ongoing thing from when me and Corey went into that mall. They took down my information and they were very, very diligent and very, very professional with keeping up with me. They made phone calls to me, hey, how can we help? We know that you came into the store. Great experience. And like I said, I kind of use that as my leverage to say, hey, they're really trying to make a sale, so why not exploit it, but why not make sure that I'm getting the best for my money? And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Thankfully, we were able to come to an agreement on the price. I also got some things thrown in there, I didn't pay for the actual setting of the stone. They were trying to charge almost $1,000 for that. I didn't pay for that. Whether they factor that in somewhere else, I don't know, but I know for a fact that was not on it was on the receipt, but it was credited and debited, so it balanced out to zero. I got like I said, the setting of the stone, didn't pay for that. I got the gemologist review, I didn't pay for that. They charged $70 for that. Because the stone was larger and they needed a new head for the stone, that was going to be $200. I didn't pay for that either. So I was able to negotiate and get a lot of things off my bill. So I really just paid for the setting and for the band, which is what I went in there to pay for. I didn't pay for any of the things that they were trying to, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for that. The only things that I paid for were the setting, the band, and I got the insurance that I mentioned before. Unfortunately, the insurance, or whatever you want to call it, that policy for it, I couldn't avoid not paying for that. They weren't going to give me everything for free. And I was okay with that because, like I said, I was still in budget. And I know I've been rambling for quite a bit. But that was pretty much, in a nutshell, the whole ring buying experience. It was something that I did not take lightly. It took me, I would say, about a year in research and all of that, looking into really what she wanted, what we could afford. And I think ultimately I am pleased and I'm happy with it. Something else that I'm gonna mention, because we're gonna be posting other content, and like I said, we're gonna keep it as financially related as possible. And in another video that will be coming out shortly, we're going to be discussing the trip that I planned to actually propose. And I'm just going to give you a sneak peek right here. I was able to purchase the wedding band and the ring and the trip and stay on budget, which Akeiva didn't know.
Well, like I said, I'm learning a lot in this video.
So that's why she's so quiet, because she'd had no idea of any of this.
Good job.
So let's recap that to make sure that we all understood what I was saying. So I got wedding engagement ring, wedding band, and
a whole
trip
for 8 days.
For 8 days.
3 different cities. In Europe.
And I did that with our $10,000 budget. And if you're interested in learning how I was able to do all of that, make sure that you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you never miss when we post new content, because that video is coming very, very shortly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.